What is going on, guys? This is Andy with Andy Z Anime, and today I'm going to be reacting to The Summer Hikaru Died episode 3. If you guys have not checked out my previous reaction videos to this particular series or to other series that I'm currently reacting to, I do encourage you guys to go ahead and check those videos out. Again, I will post a link to my channel in the description of this video down below. Also, guys, we are aiming for 100 subscribers next, and again, it does mean the world to me when you guys take the time to show your love and support by hitting that like and subscribe button. The incentive video for our 100 subscribers will be a season 1 live action TV reaction from me. Also, guys, if you guys enjoy anime reaction channels, feel free to share these videos with your friends. With that being said, guys, and without further ado, let's get started. Thinking back to eating watermelon in their childhood. Yeah, a little too young to think about dying. Yeah. Oh, okay, so Hikaru brings up this old memory and Yoshiki remembers it, but from Yoshiki's perspective, this is not Hikaru, or at least the Hikaru that he remembers. And I think that hurts Yoshiki more emotionally because it's not the person he loved, basically. I think Yoshiki is still struggling internally with the fact that the Hikaru that he truly loved is gone, and that he's trying to mentally figure out how he feels about this entity living within a friend that he fell in love with, knowing that it's not necessarily Hikaru, but that it sounds and has the memories of Hikaru, I think only hurts Yoshiki more. Wait, what? Okay. Interesting. Could this be a potential clue as to why Hikaru went up to that particular mountain to find out what actually happened to his dad? Yeah, is Hikaru gonna be jealous? I think he's trying to seek advice and try and figure out how he feels about this life form inhabiting somebody he loved and how to approach this Hikaru or this alien like Hikaru moving forward. No, I can't say that Yoshiki has been observant to the point of looking for things out of place within the village. He's been too focused on the whole Hikaru is not Hikaru thing and trying to figure out emotionally where he stands with this entity. Was there a life form in her husband? Is he trying to emotionally disconnect from this Hikaru lookalike so that his feelings don't get even more, or so that he isn't more emotionally damaged? Well, I can understand why if he's feeling not only emotionally hurt, but also if he's genuinely scared because the life form inside of Hikaru is potentially evil, then he's just trying to figure out how to proceed emotionally. That's creepy, dude. Well, Yoshiki is feeling all kinds of emotions because the Hikaru that's standing in front of him isn't the Hikaru that he fell in love with. And it only hurts him more on an emotional level because this life form looks, sounds, and has the memories of the person he loved. But Yoshiki also knows how dangerous of a life form this could be. And so he doesn't know at what point will this life form lash out at him. And the entity within Hikaru is having a mental breakdown. You better watch out, Yoshiki. Yo, is it trying to attack him? And now Hikaru feels somewhat guilty that he lashed out at Yoshiki. So it would seem that Yoshiki is going to go make amends to this Hikaru clone, or the life form that's living within Hikaru. Yet I still think that Yoshiki is still somewhat scared of what it is that's inhabiting Hikaru because of what the woman told him about an evil entity that lived on the mountain. Okay, guys, that was The Summer Hikaru Died episode 3. I thought this was an interesting episode. Again, this one focused a little bit more heavily on the emotional connection between Yoshiki and Hikaru, and we kind of see the internal struggle that Yoshiki seems to be going through because even though he knows that now that Hikaru isn't necessarily the Hikaru he fell in love with, he struggles with the idea. And I think on an emotional level, it only hurt him more because this life form that lives within Hikaru's body sounds like him, has Hikaru's memories, but isn't really the Hikaru that he knew and fell in love with. So I think there was some internal struggle there because of the fact that he knew, and that he was trying to figure out how to approach Hikaru on an emotional level moving forward, because he felt different towards Hikaru, because it again, he was in love with Hikaru, and I don't know if he necessarily feels that way specifically about the life form that is Hikaru now. It might develop into something more later, but perhaps for right now, he seems upset. He seems angry. He also might be a bit scared because of the fact that the woman that he has spoken with over the last maybe 1 or 2 episodes has kind of gone through something similar to what Yoshiki has gone through, with the fact that her husband had one of these life forms living inside of him, and that it wasn't necessarily the kind and loving person that she had known, and that it kind of lashed out at their son. And so she was trying to give Yoshiki a heads up and say, I don't want you to live out your life have it end up the way that it ended up for her, and that you obviously need to take a different approach, maybe even distance yourself, because these entities are not necessarily great life form entities, but potentially evil entities. So I think Yoshiki felt a little bit like he needed to distance himself by taking this woman's advice, only because we didn't really know what this life form was going to do, or at least in Yoshiki's point of view, he didn't know if the life form inhabiting Hikaru would at some point get angry enough to lash out and attack him. And so he felt like, from an emotional standpoint, perhaps, and even from a safety standpoint, perhaps, thinking that by distancing himself from Hikaru, he would end up being a little bit safer, and that he wouldn't necessarily come to harm, not only on a physical level, but on an emotional level as well. So I think that was his thought process. Now, again, I don't really know where they're going to take the emotional connection in this series, but it was an interesting episode overall. And we see that they do make amends at the end of the episode, and that Yoshiki is going to teach the life form within Hikaru about humanity and how to go about perceiving things, whether that's on an emotional level or through some other life skills and lessons that he can kind of pick up on. And we get some other interesting information. I'm not sure yet how it's going to potentially tie into the mystery of the story. We do get this little bit of information in regards to Hikaru's dad died on the same mountain that Hikaru did. Now, I don't know if it was in the same season, like if it was in January or in the winter time, along the same time, well, not the same time frame, but like the same seasonal time frame that Hikaru died. So I don't know if these potential life forms had something to do with Hikaru's dad dying, if it was these prominent members of the village that knew what was going on the mountain that also may have had a hand in the death of Hikaru's father. But we get that little bit of information kind of to add upon the mystery of the whole story. So I am intrigued as to how the mystery portion, anyway, of it is going to unfold as the series continues. And I am looking forward to seeing how the emotional connection between the characters is going to develop as the story continues as well. And we'll have to wait and see what you guys think of this series. Again, I thought this was a pretty decent episode, and we kind of get the inside thoughts somewhat to how Yoshiki feels about the life form inside Hikaru, and how Hikaru, out of confusion, perhaps a little bit of anger, lashed out at Yoshiki, then somewhat regretted taking those actions because of how either the former Hikaru felt or how this life form technically feels about Yoshiki. It's hard to say because I think he was saying that his emotions felt very mixed, and the fact that he didn't know if those were his feelings and memories anymore or if it was part of Hikaru's memories and feelings. So again, a little bit of complexity to the emotional aspect, and it was somewhat interesting and informative. And again, I thought this episode was interesting anyway. As always, guys, if you guys like this video, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below for more video content. And remember, guys, we are aiming for 100 subscribers next. So again, it does mean the world to me when you guys take the time to show your love and support by hitting that like and subscribe button. This is Andy with Andy Z Anime. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will catch you guys next time.